Professor Duri, Director of Student Welfare, Mr. Anthony Viegas, Office Bearers of the Goa University Campus Students Union, led by Ritik Mandrekar, the deans, the vice deans, the members of the faculty, and my dear students. First, I would like to thank you for inviting me here for this important and proud moment in the life of the present elected council. They have, Ritik spoke more like a politician and less like a student, but that is the way it should be. The Vice Chancellor also has hoped that we will be creating leaders of tomorrow from within the ranks of a well-educated and an esteemed institution like the Goa University. Incidentally, I also was the chairman of the Goa University Students' Council, the whole thing, in I think 91. I think it was 91. But Dr. Dubashi was the Vice Chancellor then. I was a very vocal critic of the goings on in the university. My sisters were teaching here that time. My sister was teaching in the Kokani department and another in the Marine Biotechnology department. Even they were called and warned by the Vice Chancellor then. What is your brother up to? He's gone berserk and he's trying to fight the injustice as if all the injustice is here in the university. But that's the way we are. Kokonin घालवल्यार भुरग्याक अन्याय जालो असो दिसता आनी मागीर तो फुडें सरता. रितिकान रेफरन्स केलें मायकल लोबोचें की मायकल लोबोन म्हणलें की गोंयचे भुरगे सुशेगाद धरात. म्हाका दिसता यू हॅव टू टेक इट इन द रायट वे. ही इज बेसिकली ट्रायिंग टू प्रोवोक यू टू शो दॅट तुमी सुशेगाद न्ही म्हणून. Prove him wrong. Prove him wrong. And you don't have to only fight the university. You have to fight the government perhaps tomorrow. Because it's the government that's doing injustice to you. Who's responsible for the unemployment? The Honorable Vice Chancellor talked about loneliness amongst the parents. Why that loneliness? Because the children are going abroad for jobs. Who's supposed to give those jobs? Those jobs are supposed to be given by the government. You know here there is a cash for jobs scam. Government is selling jobs which were meant for the youth. And the youth are quiet. So Michael Lobo is right. He has provoked you. He's told you, arise. Swami Vivekananda's International Youth Day, we observed that day. What did he say? That organize, never ever flinch until you reach the goal. So basically he makes you to arise. So leaders of tomorrow have to arise. You cannot be in the comfort of, even after having won an election, United University panel. You have to see that whatever you promise has to be achieved. Now you talked about a chairman of the placement cell, dedicated chairman. कोण आता तो? खंयच्यान आसता? तुमच्या भितरल्यान काय भायल्यान? This will have to follow up with labor and employment. So, I will also, this issue that he has raised, we have a incoming session in March, which I expect to be the budget session. So it's a 1 month old session. In the past, I have also fought for your bus here, the electric buses. So, we have raised this issue. Placement cell is important. I believe it is in the university itself, when you are on the verge of completion of your course, that you should get a job. Why should you go out and then search for a job or buy a job like what is happening in Goa? So you will say this guy is a very vocal critic and we have brought the wrong guy as a chief guest. But the fact is, there is a case in the police station that jobs were sold, people were caught. So the government also admits that something wrong, there is something heavily wrong when it comes to employment. We are the second highest unemployed state in the country. First thing, Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep is not even a state. It is just a tiny piece of land, so can't look at it as a state. Goa, with so much of socio-political consciousness, such high literacy, is still having this problem of unemployment. One thing could be, as the Honorable Vice Chancellor said, that we are studying things and we are not studying to solve our problems. Universities are meant to solve long pending problems of the state. For example, I would say that more than loneliness, there is a very typical problem in Kharkon, the southernmost tip of Goa. People are dying of kidney diseases. Everybody, 1 in 3rd person is having a kidney problem. So why is it happening that only these people from Kharkon are affected? I have been talking this for the last 13 years as a legislator. 13 years the government has done nothing. I request the Goa University to study this as a project, and by the end of this year, give us a solution, because we are trying best to throw this government and new government to come in place, and we will solve it according to your recommendation. This government will do nothing. They didn't do for 13 years. They won't do anything now also. I'm quite sure about it. But you give us the solution, we'll do it in this year itself, because at the end of this year I expect an election. So Speaker Sir, the Vice Chancellor will say that this guy is too much of too drastic in his demeanor. But the fact remains, democracy is a right. You cannot take credit for conducting an election alone. You have to conduct an election. And whether you like it or not, even if you don't like the person, that person has to be anointed if the students like it. That is democracy. That is the strength of our next generation. We have seen Gen Z bringing down governments in Nepal and everywhere. It's your future. It's not we are halfway down. The Vice Chancellor is a little more than me. The future is yours. So you have to fight to protect your future. You don't have to fight to protect our loneliness in our old age. You fight for your future, and for that you will have to have a clear vision. The vision cannot be only to create unrest. No. You will have to have a vision, as the Vice Chancellor says, you have to know your rights and at the same time your duties. Your responsibility towards protecting this democracy. It cannot be a mobocracy. It has to be a democracy. There are responsibilities for everyone. But we have to identify our problems. We cannot say that all is well. All is never well. And the youngsters can never believe that all is well. How can the youngsters believe this? I is not a youngster. I'm 55 years of age. I don't believe everything all is well. In my life, I don't believe all is well. I'm not happy with the way I am. You don't have to be happy at all with the way you are. You have to be, you have to have the fire in the belly to progress, to go forward, to make something out of your life. बरें जर कितें करतले हे गोंय पसून जर फुडें वतलें जाल्यार गोंयकारांक एक दिशा दाखोवपी लिडरशीप गरजेची. ही लिडरशीप आज गोंयांत कितें जाल्या, for the sake of the understanding of the Vice Chancellor, leaders of tomorrow in Goa happen to be sons and daughters of the present MLAs or whatever. Everybody is propping up their sons. Are these the leaders of tomorrow? Have they won the university election? Why should you accept them as your leaders? From one amongst you should be a leader. And what Ritik said is very correct. It has to be that somebody from you reaches the assembly. In the past, understand one thing, when Assam was burning, when there was All Assam Students Union, which formed a political party of its own called the Assam Gauna Parishad, that Praful Mohanta and Birku Pukan, they became Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister of Assam. They ruled the state. Students ruled the state. And students formed the political party. So it can happen. In Goa also, there was a big student movement. A movement that gave you 50% concession. 50% concession that you have got is not because of the charity of the government. The buses were burnt down, the whole state was paralyzed, and then only you got it. You didn't just get it like that. So this thing will even go from you if you start wearing uniforms, which I have heard that suddenly colleges are trying to make students wear uniform. So they are trying to be disciplined, so much of discipline they are trying to make you. And this is not the age to wear uniform. This is the age to be creative, to be wearing something that makes style. I like his hairdo. This is the way it should be. It's funky, but it's nice. It's the way he looks. And it's not about how he looks, it's what he's got in his grey matter. So that's what matters. So all in all, I would understand what critics says. The issues, the challenges today are education, are unemployment, and the stress that comes with the mix of both. Now things like the Wi-Fi, campus amenities, I think you all have to do this. The university has to show that it is working for the students, and if you are not getting good enough money from the government, you tell me, I'll fight on your behalf in the assembly for that. The fact remains that this university is threatened the most with what we are doing in the assembly. Every now and then we are passing a new private university bill. Universities which during Manohar Parrikar's time I was in the government, we were thinking of getting Ivy League colleges, not Parur and that Koto, Ganpat, led by very dodgy individuals. Those were not the universities that we were trying to bring. We were trying to bring all these Ivy League, Asia Pacific campuses here. We told the mine owners that you all have the land, we'll give you the permissions. But now the government is giving these people land and getting universities not of repute. So Goa will be just a degree production center. And every now and then we are being told that the new NEP says that you need cluster-based universities, you need this private universities. For GIM we have made a separate bill to make a university in the present case. So I fear that there will be two classes of people. One class which can buy education, the other one which has to live in lower risk. So this NEP may be creating this two classes of or two types of students. One who can afford, who can buy a degree, study in a good university. Other you have to just make do. So this is a fear, and this you have to. I think you have to even educate the legislators. So whether we are doing right. Many of there is a select committee on private universities. There is a select committee on these clusters. I am there in that team. I am taking advice from some of the people from your university itself. Because I believe that the government of Goa is not at all bothered about the Goa university. First thing, they are taking your land, yes or no, Mr. Vice Chancellor. They have taken your land for setting up that pharmacy college. So they are taking your land, they are establishing parallel universities, giving them recognition and doing nothing about your university. What is the government doing for you? So should you not ask questions? Does this education policy, should it not serve the Goan students first? So I do not understand whether a public university should exist to serve markets. It is supposed to serve students and empower them. Here it's like they are serving markets, and we are talking about strengthening democracy. So this two-tier education system, one for those who can afford the high fees, and the others who are asked to compromise on quality. This thing is something that you have to fear, you have to acknowledge, and you have to fight. Because education is a right. Education is not a favor that somebody is doing on you. So some people cannot afford that education, the others have to compromise for quality. This is something which is a scenario which we can see. And after all this, there are no jobs. So what is education for? And now you have AI, you have challenges, the technological challenges which are going to affect your employment. So my belief is, if Goa University is weakened, then Goa is weakened. If Goa University is strong, then you have a stronger Goa, a stronger next generation of leaders, and leaders who can give us a better future, who can take Goa forward. So only a public university can safeguard Goa's intellectual, cultural, and environmental future. Private universities are not going to see this. Private universities will not care a damn about Goa's culture, about Goa's environment. Not at all. Why will they be bothered? They will be producing degrees. Only the Goa University can be giving us good inputs to protect our intellectual, cultural, and environmental future. So students have to be taken as stakeholders in this, not as subjects. You are not part one the university administration rules and you all are subjects, no. You all are stakeholders. You all have equal importance. And young minds cannot be controlled. Young minds have to be given the right to think. And the university is not a school. So no uniform. Oppose the uniform. This is my stand on this. I may be an outspoken politician. Tomorrow I become the chief minister, I'll be 100% sure nobody has to wear a uniform. No need to wear a uniform. So silencing voices does not create harmony. Students are not outsiders on the campus. They are primary stakeholders and they have to be respected, they have to be empowered, they have to be protected. I think I am giving an overdose of critical thinking that normally I am known for. But I believe a university has to be a space where students ask questions. They express dissent and participate in decision making. Well, that's how confident citizens are made. That's the way I have become. My father was not a politician. My father was an academic, a PhD. I became a politician and I won 3 elections. And not with principal parties, not the Congress, not the BJP. I won as an independent and I won with a party that was formed by me. So you can also be this. And this is what I see in even Ritik. The way he speaks, he has been very clear in his mind. And taking politics as a profession is not bad. It's very good. Especially the girls who are there. We are going to have a reservation coming soon. 33% reservation. We won't have women leaders. We'll have to search if somebody's wife or somebody's sister. That is what it is. So this women reservation basically empowers families only of leaders. So good leaders will be amongst you. Those who get elected at Sadio सगळ्यांनी बरोबर आल्या पण leadership तोंडही उघडे करून उभं जाय आणि उलयतली अशें म्हणून म्हाका होप आहा. As a legislator and as a person who deeply believes in public education, I can give you this assurance that I will raise the concerns of the Goa University students and also of the administration on the floor of the House. We will see that we will question policies that weaken public universities. Public universities cannot be weakened. We should not allow them to be weakened. So we will question these policies unitedly. United University Madhuji. Unitedly, let's go forward. I do hope that I have not provoked you too much, and I'm feeling sorry for the Vice Chancellor, for being. You don't have to think that you are at the receiving end here. It is the government that is at the receiving end, and I am supposed to be one of the most vocal critics of this government. I cannot come to the Goa University and suddenly change my रूप बदलून बरो सारको सभ्य मनीस जावंक शकना. जे असेंब्लीत उलयता त्या भशेन हांवें उलयता आनी म्हाका म्हजें असलें तुमी आनी लिडर जावचे हाजे खातीर हांव उलयलो आहा. आनी ते मायकल लोबल म्हणल्यार तें हांवें सपोर्ट की तुमी सुशेगाद जाले ते जालेच दाखोवन दियात कि तुम्ही सुशेगाद नहीं म्हणून. He has provoked you correctly, and I believe that this provocation will be positively taken by you, and you all unitedly will go forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting some of the social and political facts.